Just to tell you guys a little bit about me, I've been a content creator for 25 years now. I started when I was in high school. I was 17 years old. I've done a lot of photography, video. I'm also a writer. I've worked with all these major magazines. But I wanted to ask you guys a question. So, who believes in the power of manifestation? Raise your hand. Okay, great. So I have a story for you, and this is one of the ways that I got into the business and where I am today. But when I was 6 years old, my mom used to take me to Zig Ziglar. I don't know if you guys know who that is, but Zig Ziglar was like Tony Robbins' predecessor. When I was 6, I would go to these conferences, and they taught me about manifestation. And so my family was at that time into collecting coins. We were going to a coin convention, and then I saw a story on the news about the rarest penny in the world. I was 6 years old, and I just knew that when I went to that coin convention, I was going to get that rarest penny in the world. It was a 1914 G penny, made in Denver. So when I went to the coin convention, I went straight to the table where there were all these pennies, and all the kids were looking at these pennies. And I kept looking and looking and looking and looking. Hours passed, 2 hours passed, 3 hours passed, 4 hours passed, and my parents were just like, okay, time to go. I knew the penny was there, and then I actually found that penny. I took the penny to the microscopes, and I verified that I found that penny, and today that penny is worth $3,500. So I knew how powerful manifestation was, and I knew that anything that I wanted, I could get it. So fast forward a little to when I was 14. I'm from LA, so you guys probably don't know KISS FM, or do you guys know who Rick Dees is? Okay, so Rick Dees, he was really, really popular back then, and he would host this Christmas party called the Kissmas Party, and all the celebrities would go, and I would hear about it on the radio, and I wanted those tickets so bad because it just seemed like the most fun time ever. I kept calling the radio station, I kept calling and calling, and I put out my manifestation power, and eventually I won tickets to Rick Dees' Kissmas Party. It was me, my two younger sisters, my little sister, she was 6 years old, my other one was 12, and my parents. We all went to this crazy Kissmas party, and LaBouche performed, and Rhea McCoy performed, and we had the time of our lives. From that point on, I realized that the entertainment industry was something that I had to be in. I had to work with celebrities. I had to be at all these award shows and all these fashion shows because I just love this creative energy. When I turned 17, I won a national writing competition for Scholastic, and the prize was $5,000 and writing articles for 17 magazine. The Teen Choice Awards was coming up, and I really wanted to go. So 17 magazine happened to be hosting the show. I asked my editor if I could cover the Teen Choice Award for her, and she said, Sure, you can cover it. And then I told her I had a digital camera. So it was my dad's digital camera, a Nikon Coolpix 950, 2.1 megapixels. It just so happened that my editor was looking for a digital photographer at that time, and she ended up hiring me as their first official digital photographer. So I was hired to take 3 pictures for them. It was in sync with the publisher of 17 magazine, Britney Spears and the publisher of 17, and Backstreet Boys with the publisher. And she paid me $1,500 for each picture. Going to this award show was it was so magical for me because I'm just going around, I'm taking these celebrities' first digital pictures. They were impressed with the technology. And then I also made a lot of money, and it was just so much fun. So that year I started writing for Rolling Stone, with Vogue, with People, Teen People, and then I also got hired as the official digital photographer for a lot of the other major award shows. Another thing that happened with my my manifestation powers. After that, all I wanted to do was travel. So I just kept on putting it out there. Like, I wanted to travel so bad. So an opportunity came to me. My friend asked me if I wanted to go to Miami. And then he told me, sure, you can go to Miami. And I asked him how long. And he said, just buy a one-way ticket. And then I've never done that before. I was 24 years old. So I bought this one-way ticket to Miami. I go to 3rd and Collins, and I know nothing about Miami. He tells me, this is your apartment. It's this 2-bedroom modern apartment with high ceilings. And he said I could stay there for as long as I wanted, but there was a catch. And I was like, okay, what kind of catch? He said, well, you could stay here for as long as you want, but every day 3 or 4 models are gonna come here, and you have to take pictures of them, and they're gonna pay you $100 each. I was so happy, and that time that I was in Miami, that's when I really learned how to work with models and talent. And I was doing so many photo shoots, and I became known as the Asian that hangs out with models. So I didn't pay for anything. Like, people just wanted me to be at their places because they knew that a bunch of models would follow me around. That was when I got into fashion photography and hospitality photography. I started a publication called David's Guide. It's a global platform that focuses on the global luxury lifestyle. So I create videos for hotels and restaurants, private jet companies, anything luxury. And I'm always on the cutting edge for learning. I'm always learning new editing techniques. I'm always learning everywhere I go, because that's like, I'm on YouTube all the time, and I'm always progressing. The reason why I was asking everybody about manifestation was because, I was just some kid from the suburbs of Los Angeles, from Hacienda Heights. I didn't fit in with anybody. And when I had that opportunity to go to the Teen Choice Awards, I actually asked my friends if they wanted to go with me, and every single one of them told me they didn't want to go because it was too far, 40 minutes. But I had it in my heart that I knew that I belonged there. And just as, now for what I do, the photography and video, for working with celebrities and being in the entertainment industry and travel, like, I knew that I belonged here, even when I was little. And that was my manifestation story. So thanks for listening.